Tottenham Hotspur are well and truly back, and it's as a result of a combination of many things, but above all else, it's down to big Ange Postecoglou. The man already breaking records with the most points recorded within the first 9 games of any new manager in the Premier League's history. But they couldn't really go all the way, could they? Surely not. Well, today I'm here to tell you exactly why I think Tottenham are 100% title contenders. Now, obviously, there's a few different problems in this journey to the title for Spurs. You've got Man City being the trophy hunters they are, despite obviously having a few small slip-ups already this season. We know they are always going to be pushing any team to the very limit. You've then also got Arsenal, who are forever going to be a threat when they've got Arteta at the wheel, but at the same time, they've not really clicked yet. They've got a few players still adjusting to the system, and at the moment, I really can't see them pushing it all the way. And then there's Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool, who could well and truly challenge. However, they've shown they can be exposed in transitional phases and also don't necessarily have the midfield to actually dominate every team they play against. So I could 100% see them maybe not pushing it this season. So with all of that, I do really think this season is the one where Tottenham could really consolidate their transition from just a team battling for top 4 every season, potentially being one of them title contenders every single year. If we were actually to look at how they've played, Tottenham are currently operating at an incredibly high standard. What I do just want to specifically zoom in on first is certainly the pressing system, which I think could actually be one of the best in the Premier League, possibly behind Newcastle. It is super high risk, but as we saw against Fulham, it also offers such high rewards. Looking at this phase of play here, we see the clear trigger for Spurs is to pounce on Bassi, who is left-footed, playing as the right centre-half, and this is shown by Maddison jumping to join Son as a pressing forward line. However, this does then cause that risk of the ball being played in behind the space left by the number 8 jumping forward, and it gives an opportunity for one of the Fulham midfielders to be brave and come and occupy that space and receive it on the half turn. But as I said, Bassi is left-footed, and therefore the angle for him to play that pass is very much so limited due to him obviously not being as competent on his right foot. That press breaking, line splitting pass became a lot harder for Fulham to try and do, and even if they did find a man and do it, Højbjerg was consistently there breaking up the play. And his mature head was absolutely massive in their game. I mean, if he couldn't collapse the move entirely, he would at the very minimum force the ball to be played backwards and thus nullifying the way that Fulham could progress through the thirds. Just look at his heat map. I mean, he was literally everywhere in that game against Fulham. And I think what makes Tottenham so dynamic and so hard to break through is the fact that if you do then beat Højbjerg after them playing such a high pressing line, best believe Mickey van der Ven is there lurking to come and break up play just as well as Højbjerg was doing. He can come through, step with the striker, and just take it off him, as he did for the first goal against Fulham. He nicked it, and that first touch is absolutely sublime. And then obviously you've got Son, who does an unbelievable finish. With that though, I do want to take a closer look at Van der Ven and just how good he is at such a young age of 22. I mean, he completely dominates that left-hand side, whether it be through his aggressive step forward to support the press, or through his more sweeper-based role as he supports Romero, who is certainly the more involved centre-half when it comes to actually defending and breaking up attacks. I mean, just a quick comparison of their percentile show that Romero commits to and wins far more tackles than Van der Ven does. But that's what makes this partnership so special. The two profiles massively complement each other. Like, honestly, I think it might be a match made in heaven from Postecoglou here. It honestly works perfectly. I mean, even when we're looking at how Tottenham play in possession, the utilisation of this centre-half pairing is absolutely huge, with Spurs obviously tending to build up with a 2 at the back, which is something, well, no one else does. Horan and Doji often step forward to create a line of 3, causing this 2-3 build-up as Bissouma acts as the main pivot. However, saying that, this is just one of many ways that Ange has his team building up. Quite literally, the only constant in this side is them 2 centre-halves who don't really fluctuate much. However, the rest of the side is almost completely fluid. Either one of Bissouma or Sarr can come into the pivot and receive the ball, creating the unpredictability which just makes them so hard to stop. You can't go man-to-man because, well, everyone is everywhere. Even the fullbacks take up positions in them attacking half spaces, which resembles something of a number 10, and it's just absolutely absurd to see. But they also have the ability to do so, with them both averaging over 2 big chances created per game. Honestly, what I most love about Spurs at the moment though is this winning mentality that's been instilled in the team from Ange. I don't think it can come from anywhere else other than Postecoglou. Every single one of them players seems to absolutely love playing for Spurs, and it's something we've not seen for, well, over the past 5 years really. They seem to have their fight back, and I think James Maddison is a clear representation of the new Tottenham. I mean, he's incredibly talented, as seen by his 8 goal contributions in just 9 games, on top of the fact he creates an average of 6 big chances per game. But he isn't just an attacking threat in the final third, he's also a massive player in terms of his contributions in the build-up through his rotations with the fullbacks. And combining this with his brilliant adaptability to receive the ball in so many different scenarios makes it almost impossible to track his movement. To put it quite short, he's honestly just brilliant. He also seems to be an excellent character around the dressing room, you know, a leader. He's got experience, he's been through relegation battles, which obviously don't directly correlate with Spurs, but he's been involved in them big moments which can decide a club's fate. And then when you're obviously in a title race, they're things that you need to have in the team. And all these credits to Maddison are without mentioning anything to do with his dynamite link-up with Son. So all in all, Spurs have some things that they've not had in a very long time. A young, exciting side led by a motivational, young and new manager at the wheel, who also carries principles that Tottenham fans have been absolutely crying out for years. But do I think they can push for the league legitimately? I genuinely don't see a reason why not. I mean, there is a few kinks in the armour, but that's only natural with a side that are transitioning the way they are. I mean, we look at Arsenal 4 years ago, we're nowhere near as good as they are now. But nevertheless, though, it's obviously still going to be a factor, and if they are good enough to really go and win the Premier League title, personally think they can be exposed in transitional phases sometimes, specifically the wide spaces. But at the moment, Romero and Van de Ven are coping very well, specifically Van de Ven, who has the perfect profile to be dealing with them wide channel balls. He's a brilliant wide defender and can also defend 1v1s, but I would still like to see maybe a little bit more sport this ironed out a little bit more, because I do think against them bigger sides, I know they've dealt with Arsenal and Liverpool already, but maybe on a different day it could have gone a different way if they just took their opportunities that they got from these transitional states. I would also like to see maybe another young forward be arriving in January. I know we've got Johnson coming in, but I would still like to see maybe one of Bakayoko or Orban arrive. I think that would just really make this attack arguably one of the best in the league behind Man City, and I don't really think either of them signings would go amiss at all. But these are things that will progress as the season develops, and I'm sure Ange has his eye on majority of these minor tweaks that need to happen, and I've got no doubt that he will make sure that they are fixed up as soon as possible. And that kind of reinstates the fact that I do genuinely think they could 100% challenge for the title this season, because if Ange can maintain these elite level performances, there's literally no reason that they can't. If you have enjoyed today's video, then please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.